The recent migrant hysteria of the left was triggered primarily by this declaration of zero tolerance by Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen.
In the last 5 months, we have a 314% increase in adults and children arriving at the border fraudulently claiming to be a family unit. This is obviously of concern.
Something that was enacted after the Attorney General announced the zero tolerance policy. This never happened before he announced the zero
That's actually not
policy.
true. So the last administration, the Obama administration, the Bush administration, all separated families at the, they absolutely did.
Well,
They did, their rate was less than ours, but they absolutely did do this. This is not new.
Are you intending for this to play out as it is playing out? Are you intending for parents to be separated from their children? Are you intending to send a message?
I find that offensive. No, because why would I ever create a policy that purposely does that?
Perhaps it's a deterrent.
And now, right on cue, Frontier, American, and United Airlines have released statements denouncing something Obama did for years: separate children from their parents charged with misdemeanors and some of them felonies for refusing to become naturalized citizens the legal way, regardless of the fact that towns like Tenancingo, Mexico, use our open-ended border against us, flooding the U.S. with sex slaves, drugs, and weapons, a multi-billion-dollar operation, but the Democrats would like to pretend nothing like that is happening. After all, it is an election year.
I led an unannounced inspection of an ICE detention center to witness firsthand the Trump administration's heartless, cruel, and dangerous family separation policy.
Here we are bringing our concerns to the steps of the Capitol once again to say to the President of the United States, how low can you go?
This is child abuse, what you are committing against those children. Those children should be with their moms and their dads.
The United States of America is not and must never be about locking up little children in cages on the southern border.
I'm going to be signing an executive order in a little while before I go to Minnesota. But at the same time, I think you have to understand we're keeping families together, but we have to keep our borders strong. We will be overrun with crime and with people that should not be in our country.
Of course, this is how they talk when it's not an election year.
And make everybody in America poor. Then you're doing away with the concept of a nation state. What we would love is an open border policy. Bring in all kinds of people who work for $2 or $3 an hour. That would be great for them. I don't believe in that.
We must create a system that converts the current flow of primarily low-skilled illegal immigrants into the United States into a more manageable and controlled flow of legal immigrants who can be absorbed by our economy.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more, by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before.
Very briefly on immigration, there isn't any sensible approach except to do what we need to do simultaneously, secure our borders with technology, personnel, physical barriers if necessary in some places, and we need to have tougher employer sanctions, and then give them some earned right to legalization that will enable them to continue to work. If they've committed transgressions of whatever kind, they should be obviously deported.
I think the numbers have escalated tremendously. You see a lot of illegal smuggling. I'm told by the State Department that there are anywhere from 40 to 75 ships, either in the construction or on the high seas, bringing people illegally into this country. I think what you see, and you see it in Europe, you see it in Asia, and you're seeing it in this country, is a phenomenon of people who are moving, who are looking for opportunity. So it's worldwide. When you come to these two borders, you have to remember a couple of things. In Mexico, there is no welfare, there is no AFDC, there is no SSI, there is no Medicaid, there is no Social Security, there is no Medicare, and there's a 58-cent an hour minimum wage. Mexico does nothing to enforce its border.
Any way you slice it, these issues have to be dealt with. We do have Border Patrol and immigration laws, and a massive cartel-fueled billion-dollar operation on our border, and like water and oil, the two don't mix.
This surveillance video shows Mexican congressional candidate Fernando Puron posing for a selfie with a supporter after a campaign debate last Friday, when a man walks up from behind, raises a gun, and fires point blank at the back of his head. He's now one of 113 candidates and politicians who have been murdered in Mexico just since last September. The cartels want to eliminate candidates who threaten their ability to kidnap, extort, and smuggle illegal drugs to the world's #1 consumer, the U.S.
Miguel Alvarez Flores, he's 22 years old. He's the one in that green shirt. He waved at our camera. And 18-year-old Diego Hernandez Rivera is next to him. Now, these two have been charged with murdering a woman known as Genesis, who was found shot to death on the side of Sharpcrest Street in Southwest Houston. Her body found 2 weeks ago. That woman still has not been identified, but we've been showing pictures of her rings. Police still trying to find out who she is. These guys have also been charged now with kidnapping a 14-year-old girl who ran away from school. And investigators say they held her hostage for more than 2 weeks and assaulted her.
The only real solution appears to be the U.S. and Canada somehow eventually aiding in the monumental task of turning the tide on the third world Central and South American culture of corruption and murder. But that would really anger the globalists twisting their mustaches over at the United Nations. Their replacement migration plan makes it abundantly clear that they want Europe and the United States to be a subjugated third world hellhole. Pronto. John Bound reporting.